Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. First half of the MLB season is in the books. The All-Star game. Did you watch that, by the way?
Yes.
I mean, holy smokes. That was exciting.
And Pete Alonso, I'm sorry. That's not fair. All they talked about the whole time was this isn't going to impact any of this stuff. And then, of course, it's Schwarber. Like, it just has to be a Philly. I mean, I'm still mad. I was playing a guy last night in a golf match, and he was a Mets fan. The whole round, it's like, oh, Pete got F's. I can't believe this. And people were mad, which is good for Rob Manfred. Like, I think.
Yeah, people cared. It was exciting.
It was electric.
It was great. Good little wrinkle. And then coming off the home run derby, I thought that was a fun one. But they got to go back to the not timing thing, like the outs. I mean, my God, these guys are huffing and puffing like they're in a marathon, for Christ's sake.
And it's like, oh, it's a cool story, but to bring your dad to throw you pitches at the home run derby, but Pops is getting tired. Like, these guys got to bring pitching coaches now. Like, you got to have a professional.
Dude, it's insane. Go back to the outs, man, for do the right thing. I thought the ABS system, too, real quick, before we get into what we're going to talk about, was great. Everybody's talking about, oh, it's going to make it longer. That took 2 seconds. Like, do we not want to do this going forward?
Yeah. Did you watch any celebrity softball game?
I saw some highlights online, but I did not sit down and watch it.
I didn't tune in.
I mean, T.O., we all know he's a freak athlete, but he hits that ball, and Josh Allen, too. I mean, anybody who's got those two on their team, it's unfair.
Oh, I remember just growing up, like, you'd sit down and you'd watch it, and it would just be like, oh, that team has more professional athletes. They win.
That's all you need. And then the Hank Aaron tribute. My God, is that the best tribute you've ever – like, the firework that's, like, where the ball went, and then – I mean, unbelievable. Cool. I've never seen anything like that.
No, that was cool. Yeah, I mean, we're not old enough for, like, Dale Earnhardt stuff or whatever, but, like, that was, I imagine, in that category.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So that's what happened over the All-Star break that caught Tyson and I's eye. But what we're going to do here is kind of talk about the first half of the MLB season. I'm going to give out my biggest disappointments. I'm going to give out my biggest surprises, 3 in each. Tyson is going to ask me some questions. We're going to be shooting back and forth going into this. Talking a little bit about the second half. Now, the trade deadline is July 31, so depending on when you're watching this, we're not going to go too into, well, this team can do this because, I'm worrying about Phillies stuff today. I'm a Phillies fan. Phillies got to make some moves if they're actually going to be serious about winning a championship. So it's hard to gauge, like, oh, well, this team can make a run, and then they trade everybody, So, like, we're not going to necessarily go into that. We're going to talk about the MVP races, potentially some Cy Young stuff, just kind of a primer for the second half and kind of discuss that through the entire portion of the first part of the show here. But, Tyson, before I dive into my stuff, the Mets have been good, so you've been watching a little bit more in the first half. Have you been enjoying watching, getting back into hardball a little more?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a vacation for baseball, and I'm far from an expert. But, used to watch a ton, and now, Uncle Steve has brought me back. The Wilpons took my soul, and, look, it was a little fair weather of me, I'll be honest. But, like, I was rolling from the Phoenix Suns into the New York Mets for a decade, and it was tough. And I was just like, get me back to football season. I just want to watch the birds.
That is tough. The Mets, Mets and the Phoenix Suns. That is difficult. That's for sure. Okay, let's dive in here. Biggest disappointment so far, Tyson, and here's my third, and that's going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks. And it's tough a little bit when we talk about the D-backs because Corbin Burns, their big pitching offseason acquisition, he blows out his elbow, gets Tommy John surgery. But the Diamondbacks currently are sitting 47-50. They're 3 games under 500, 11 back in the division. This is a team a lot of people had circled as a potential dark horse, not just in the NL West, but in the National League. Now, you can see why. Their hitting is unbelievable. I mean, this is a deep lineup. They go out and get Josh Naylor to upgrade first base after Christian Walker left, and he's been spectacular with his on-base percentage and hitting. But Corbin Carroll continues to be spectacular. Same with Ketel Marte. It's just they just don't have the pitching. And that's the most disappointing aspect there. Now they're looking at things. If they don't turn it around, they're going to have to start selling because they have rentals at the deadline, expiring contracts that they can move. So Merrill Kelly could be gone. Zach Gallen's going to be a popular name if they do trade away people. Same with Josh Naylor. Do they even go a little bit further? I mean, Lourdes Gurriel's a name that's starting to pop up on the wire. I mean, I don't know how many other pieces they actually want to trade from there, but the Arizona Diamondbacks have been disappointing just compared to expectations coming into the season. Tyson, number 2 for me is the Texas Rangers. I mean, everybody was supposed to get worse in the West. I mean, the Seattle Mariners literally didn't do anything over the winter. The Houston Astros traded away and lost 2 franchise icons, also lost Justin Verlander. the Los Angeles Angels, we all know are the Angels, and the Athletics actually got some big name guys, but I mean, it's the Athletics. And now they're currently 16 games under 500 at the break. The Rangers have been extremely disappointing because they were supposed to win this division going away. Tyson, they're 1 game under 500, 8.5 back of the lead, and they're supposed to be leading this thing at this point. The offense has been atrocious, and that's what carried them to the World Series in 2023. It's actually the pitching staff, unbelievably, that have kept them afloat. And I'm talking your boy, your old guy, 𝐬𝐝 𝐸𝐽 having a resurgent season, and 𝐤𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐽 comes back in the offseason. You're supposed to have a good starting unit on paper. Nobody expected them to be this good. The Texas Rangers got to figure out their offense, or else they might actually miss the playoffs, which is insane to think compared to what the expectations were coming into the season. So they've been a massive disappointment. But Tyson, number one, the Baltimore Orioles. What a disastrous season for these guys, man. 43-52, 11.5 back of the AL East. They look like a shell of themselves. They had to fire the manager early in the season. It was that bad. Gunnar Henderson's regressed. Adley Rutschman's regressed. All those pieces that you thought were going to go and be the cornerstones going forward, potential MVP candidates in the AL, they look completely worse than what they did earlier in their careers. The only guy that's taken a step forward is Jackson Holliday, and you expected that because he was bad in his first stint in the MLB. So there's a lot that they got to figure out in Baltimore. New ownership group, Mike Elias, their general manager. There's some rumblings. Oh, well, he doesn't want to spend because he wants to show that he can do it. Doing this and all these analytical crap. Dude, you finally got the rich owner in Rubenstein. Like, go out and get players. Like, freaking go buy some pitchers for Christ's sake. And that's what they need to do. They're going to be They're going to be busy at the trade deadline. There's going to be people that are on the move. But Tyson, the Baltimore Orioles in the first half, easily the most disappointing team.
So that was the reaction out of me, the verbal one, and I apologize. I get that the Orioles have been disappointing. There was some questions about the rotation, but Brad, the Atlanta Braves aren't on your list. Like, no. They started the season 0-7. This is the same core that 2 years ago was the best slugging percentage in the history of baseball. They have 2 more wins than the Pirates. They have less wins than the Marlins, and that's not a top. It's supposed to be a dogfight at the top of the NL East, man. It's a two-way.
It was. It's shocking. You're right. I thought the Braves thing, though, Tyson, in baseball, just like they were so good in 2023, and the rug was pulled out from under them. And then last year, in 2022, the Phillies pulled the rug out from under them. Same with 2023, they're supposed to be really good. And then last year, and then you kind of get to that point with the same group is when you haven't reached those expectations that we're talking World Series, we're going to go to the World Series, we maybe win it, and you haven't gotten there. It almost felt like the air was out of the balloon a little bit for Atlanta. So everybody's talking about, the Braves are second behind the Dodgers, like all these preseason projections. Like, I don't know if I quite see it that way, especially when they lost Max Fried, and Strider was coming off injury too, and then same with Acuna Jr. So
broke his arm in half or whatever. But like Albies and Michael Harris, like those were guys that were supposed to be awesome coming into this year, and they're like some of the worst hitters at their positions in baseball. That's to me what I totally thought that the Orioles were getting omitted from your list, and the Braves were going to be number one. I was like, all right, I can see that one, dude. They haven't missed the playoffs in like 8 years. It's the same guy.
That's true. I know. The Albies thing is shocking. The Michael Harris, he won Rookie of the Year. It's unbelievable. This guy has regressed. He can't hit a fastball. It's crazy. Anything else that stood out to you, Tyson, in the first half when you're kind of looking through, you're like, I'm surprised by that?
I mean, I'm more drawn towards some of these things that have gone the right way, as opposed to some of these disappointments. Because again, I'm not all the way plugged in, but to disappointments before the season. But like a guy like Javi Baez in the Detroit Tigers, like that to me, like I'm excited.
Okay, well, I'll play on your excitement level here. So Tyson's really the only thing that was shocked him for my biggest disappointments is the omission of the Atlanta Braves. I think that's fair. For sure. I mean, they have definitely been pretty disappointing. But Tyson, let's keep it rolling here. Let's get into the biggest surprises that I have. And number 3 is going to be the Houston Astros. And I kind of mentioned off the top. One, I don't know how they keep getting away with it. It's like that meme, the Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul, he's sitting there. He can't keep getting away with it. It's like, how do the Astros keep doing this? All they do is freaking win. They're sitting here at 56-40. Yordan Alvarez has been awful this year, and he's been hurt the entire time, basically. He's played like 20 games. They traded Kyle Tucker, who's supposed to be the franchise right fielder, because they didn't think he was going to re-sign. They didn't aggressively pursue Alex Bregman, who's supposed to be their guy at third base. Two-time freaking World Series winner, by the way, franchise icon. They let him walk, and then they kind of lowballed him. And they're like, well, he's still out there unsigned. They already had their plan in place. Really, the only thing they did was go and get Christian Walker. He's been terrible. So it's not even like you can say, well, the one thing that they did, Tyson, the Houston Astros are doing this with two starting pitchers, really, because Spencer Arrighetti broke his thumb in a freak accident. Hayden Wesneski, Tommy John surgery. Ronel Blanco, Tommy John surgery. Lance McCullers Jr. came back, but then Christian Javier has not come back. Maybe he'll come back in the second half. That's an elbow injury. It's really been the resurgence of the emergence of Hunter Brown. Framber Valdez continuing to be elite. But it's been a ragtag group of stars have been thrown out there behind them, and it's been working. Jeremy Pena's had a career year. Jake Myers actually learned how to hit. I have no clue how they continue to do this. It is impressive. They just keep winning, dude. That's all they know how to do in Houston. My number 2 is the Milwaukee Brewers, and it's a similar thing. You lost Willie Adames. You traded Devin Williams. Like, we're talking about what a great season the Chicago Cubs are having. The Brewers are a game back. This is unbelievable. They're 56-40. This is supposed to be a rebuild. We're talking like, okay, yeah, who are they going to trade besides Christian Yelich at the deadline? All of a sudden, these guys are putting pressure. They've won 7 in a row coming into the break. They're 8-2 in their last 10. The Cubs got to be like, we can't kill these guys. It's going to be like the what is it, the zombie movies or something like that. They just keep coming at them. This is unbelievable. It's like the best season the Cubs have had in a long time, and the Brewers are right on their tail. It's impressive how they continue to do that there. And then number 1, Tyson, biggest surprise, the Detroit Tigers. What a great story. They've been the best team in baseball all year from a record standpoint, 59-38. They were the first team to 30 wins, 40 wins, 50 wins, and they're likely going to be the first team to 60 wins. Tarek Skubal probably going to win, and we'll talk about this coming up here in the back half, probably going to win his second consecutive AL Cy Young Award. The resurgence, like you talked about, Javi Baez has been awesome, all-star game starter. But these young guys who just continue to get better, man. I mean, Riley Green's emerging into a superstar. Zach McKinstry, super utility player. Parker Meadows has been disappointing in center, but we saw what he did last year. Kerry Carpenter continues to be a guy who can slug. And then Casey Mize having a resurgent year in the starting staff. It's just been AJ Hinch, I think, is the best manager in baseball. He's just unbelievable. Just been great with Houston. Now he's been awesome for the Tigers. And Detroit looks like a legit team. I'm curious to see what they do ahead of the deadline because I think there are some flaws, especially in the bullpen. But what a great thing to see the Detroit Tigers back, Tyson. Because when we were growing up, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, we were growing up on Miggy. Dude, they had everybody. Like it was just fun to watch. So that like it's a little sentimental. And I know that these were all team focused, Brad, but I can't believe there's no Big Dumper.
Oh, I know, dude. What a great. I mean,
he might. This might go down as the best season for a catcher, at least from the plate in the history of baseball. Like what he's doing, just passed King Griffey Jr. for the most home runs by a Mariner before the break. And he's 3 home runs off of Barry Bonds' pace. When Bonds hit 39 before the break. And I understand this is a guy that led the league for catchers and home runs each of the last 3 seasons. But this is like, from every statistical standpoint, a completely different guy from the right side of the plate. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
I know, it's incredible. And the big nickname Big Dumper to it adds to the allure, and he's just a nice guy, and he hits bombs. It's awesome. I mean, and people are like, oh, I don't know if you should do the home run derby. Like, if you're on a heater like this, you got to ride it out as long as possible, and nobody can take away that trophy. Although Britt Rooker, maybe he's got a little something to be upset about because the format. But I mean, this is an all-time heater from him. So I'm with you there. I mean, what a great first half of the season for Big Dumper.
And does Shohei Ohtani coming back and touching triple digits from the mound count as a surprise? It's just like a thing that he does, and we're nobody's surprised.
No, of course not, dude. Shohei.
This guy is insane.
Built in the lab. I saw the fastest he ever pitched was the Vinny Pasquantino, and I think it was in the World Baseball Classic. And the second fastest he ever pitched was the Vinny Pasquantino when he came back. Pasquantino's like, what? Thanks,
we'll
dude.
See. Like, do you think he pitches the rest of the regularly, or do you think they're going to pick and choose spots? Because his numbers, like before he took the mound, wasn't he hitting like 291 or something, and now he's hitting like 213 since he started pitching more regularly. Do you think they're going to pick and choose the spots?
I think they have to pitch him. I mean, the Dodgers have like 17 pitchers on the injured list.
That's true.
And the Glass now is coming back. Snell's going to come back. But those guys, can you trust those guys? I mean, they are made of glass, dude. It's insane. Those guys get hurt all the time. You're just hoping that you can get lightning in a bottle. And maybe that's what happens in the second half. You know, Ohtani can give you a couple innings here and there. But you almost have to look at Ohtani and be like, man, we're ramping him up to 5 innings. It's scary because you don't really know what that's going to do. And if you lose him, we're talking about a little different Dodgers team here. But I would be surprised if they kept the limit. I mean, the goal that they're trying to get him to is they can get a full workload of starting pitching in.
Yeah, I mean, ramp him up. This dude is insane. Like, he's made out of glue. Like, none of this makes any sense.
Anything else to stood out to you, Tyson? Biggest surprises? I'll throw a couple, but I want to get your thoughts. I gave my 3 teams.
Yeah, I mean, the Kyle Raleigh thing is really just occupying most of my mind. I'm like, what is he? He's 12 home runs away from Salvador Perez, I think I read, for the all-time catcher. Home run mark.
Salvi had 50, I think.
Yeah, and like that's getting obliterated. And well, like keeping up pace, especially like while playing catcher, it just seems really tough to do. But if he finishes the season with 55, 60 home runs, it's all time good. There's been, a handful of surprises, I think, this year in the MLB. I think there's, they're the teams that people thought were kind of going to walk away with some of these divisions, like you mentioned. And yeah, as surprises and disappointments kind of fit into the same category in my stupid brain.
Yeah, I think there's some overlap there for sure. I mean, a couple things that didn't make my list, I guess I should say, for surprises. The San Francisco Giants have been good. Buster Posey takes over. We talked a little bit about them, and they went and got Devers. But, people weren't a fan of the Giants, and I think metrically you can see why. It's some high risk, high reward stuff there, especially with Adames, Chapman, Elliot Ramos in the lineup. But, 52 and 45, their pitching staff has been incredible. Robbie Ray's resurgence has been awesome. For a while there, Tyson, it looked like the Athletics were going to be there. I mean, they were leading the division in the AL West. What a great story. Then they lost like 20 out of 21 games or something ridiculous. But the Angels – they're 47 and 49, and they want to make the playoffs so badly, Tyson, that I think they might screw themselves again, where they're not going to trade some guys they should at the deadline. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Do the Yankees count as a surprise?
I think it's a positive surprise for the Yankees.
Too. Like, you lose Juan Soto, you lose Garrett Cole, you still lead the AL East. Like, it's the Yankees, and so it's like, whatever. Like, of course, this is what they're doing, but they're also pretty good players. They look like the Yankees.
Well, and Clark Schmidt's out for the rest of the year now, too. Luis Gil, their rookie of the year last year, hasn't pitched yet because he had a lat strain. Now, I will say I should have put the Blue Jays in here. They're leading the division by 2 games at the break, Tyson, because they got freaking red hot. But why is it not a surprise? Well, they went and got Anthony Santander with pushing their chips into the center this past offseason. Now, Santander hasn't done anything for the Blue Jays, and he's hurt. But you have Vladdy, you got Bo Bichette, you went and got Scherzer, who, I mean, he was hurt for a while too. This is a good baseball team, so they should be at the top of the division. Like, they have plenty of talent there. I think it's just they started off slow, and now they got red hot. It's like, whoa, look at the Blue Jays, where it's like they probably should have been playing that way the entire season.
Do you feel the same way about the Twins?
I'm shocked that the Twins are not as good. Listen, Buxton, you get a healthy season of Buxton so far. That's all you're asking for, and you're 2 games under 500. You think about selling your best relief pitcher in Duran and your second best one in Jax. Like, there might be a fire sale coming. But, I mean, that's the risk you take, Tyson. If you got Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, and Royce Lewis is like your 3 guys. There's other, Larnox, there's some other good players there. But, you got 3 high injury risk guys who are supposed to be your 3 best players. You're going to have some variance. So they're 2 games under 500.
But that's the weird part about the Twins is, like, the other guys, you can at least explain some stuff away to injury. They just have guys who aren't performing.
Well, that's me with the Guardians. I think they're a bigger surprise than, like, in a negative standpoint. To be 3 games under 500, Stephen Kwan's still awesome. You got Clase, who's on the trade block now, but Jose Ramirez has been incredible as usual. It's just something just feels like they're missing. And this is a team that went to the ALCS last year. Mm-hmm. And the pitching's normally there, which hasn't quite been. So that's a little surprising.
Last surprise for me, and you talk to the people about Jung-Ho Lee.
Well, he started off the season incredibly well for the Giants. He's coming off tearing his shoulder, so dislocated that, which was tough because felt like he was finding his way a little bit before he got injured. And he started off on a tear, Tyson. This is an elite hitter over in Korea. and you thought he'd at least never really going to hit for too much power, especially playing in San Francisco. But a great hitter, kind of those throwback Ichiro style with the high hands, going to finish through and run, a little drag bunt action. He's cooled off a little bit, but he's a fun player to watch, man. I mean, you give him stuff to run, he's going to try to push a double into a triple. So I'm a big fan. I'm hoping he finds a stroke a little bit in the second half so we can see more of that, because when he was running hot in the beginning of the season, it was a great highlight.
That's good, because I got a couple rookie cards. That was a selfish question for me.
Other stuff, man. 𝐃𝐨𝐽, incredible arm for the Brewers. Chase Burns got called up. He's an electric talent for the Reds. So there's some good young pitchers, and obviously 𝐬𝐮, who we'll talk about here coming up. But Tyson, before we turn the page here, I do want to get your take on the Mets and where you're at here, because they started off red hot. Then
I was on cloud 9, dude. And then it was like the Pirates just scored 45 runs over 3 games. Like, what is going on? You just get conditioned to the sky is falling, and that's the way that you live. But it's also like, it's baseball, dude. And sometimes this happens, and it's a concerning timing. But there's months left in the season. We've seen it. How many times in the last decade has a team that started off well and then hit a midseason lull and then all of a sudden goes nuclear, from August onward? And then it's like, that's the team that's normally in the NL, but like that's the team that's making the World Series. And so not all hope is lost, but it was a much more fun first couple months of the season than I'm accustomed to. Like, I was texting you at the beginning of the year. It was like, dude, I'm used to them being like 1-7 to start the year. Like, I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, you guys switched places with the Braves, dude. It was crazy. The Mets, to me, them and the Phillies are like the same team right now. Like, they need bullpen arms and you need outfield upgrade, which is hilarious. I think it's just going to get who's just going to get hot, who's going to have the more aggressive trade deadline. And Dombrowski, you would think, has the advantage in that department, because he normally is like F them picks type of attitude, like F them prospects, I'm going for it. And it's like, dude, well, we better win now, because we're never going to win for the next decade, because what you just did. Where Stearns is, he's coming over from the Brewers system. So like, wow, we can develop. So I'm curious to see what both those teams do. Our two favorite teams, they're a half game apart here at the All-Star break.
Yeah, I mean, it's just whoever's bats get hotter, I think, is in the good spot.
All right. Second half storylines. As we look ahead, now again, we got the trade deadline coming up here in 2 weeks as we're recording on – when are we recording, Tyson? What day is it today? Thursday, the 17th. So whenever you're listening to this, we got the trade deadline coming up in a couple weeks. Things are going to flip on its head. We don't know who's going to be selling, who's going to be buying. Well, we know who's going to be buying, but we don't know necessarily who's going to be selling quite yet. So we're not going to be like, well, this team's going to win the division or this, because, everything can change. But I think some second half storylines to keep an eye on here is the AL Cy Young race, because everybody's talking about 𝐟𝐸 having this thing wrapped up. Oh, he's the best pitcher, and he is phenomenal. But Garrett Crochet has been insane for the Red Sox, dude. He just put in the gym right before the break, and they're roughly at the same ERA right now. Now, 𝐸, and I think Crochet is leading the AL in strikeouts at the moment. I'm curious to see if the worry with Crochet is he was converted into a starter last year, really had the training wheels taken off last year with the White Sox. Is his arm going to be able to hold up for the rest of the season, at least on a huge starter's workload? We're going to have to throw around 200 innings. So that's the concern. Now, he's the second favorite behind 𝐸. It's -210. 𝐸 the favorite for the award on FanDuel. Crochet +260. I'd say that's probably fair. I mean, just injury history, what happens if Crochet blows up a little bit? We know 𝐸 can do it. Plus, the whole conversation about him is, he's the best pitcher. But that's something I'm keeping an eye on.
What about, can Nick Kurtz steal Rookie of the Year from his teammate?
That's tough, man, because everybody's going to be enamored by the home runs. Mm-hmm. And Jacob Wilson is never going to quite hit it.
What is it? Like, if how many home runs does Kurtz have to get to steal it?
He's going to have to hit 30, I think. Now, maybe that may be crazy, but he's at, 16 right now or so?
Oh, you meant, yeah, okay. I thought you meant, like, total. And I was like, I think he's going to hit more than 14. Like, he's probably got to get to like 45. That's probably true.
To win? He can't get to 45 though. Because he's at 16 right now, Nick Kurtz?
Well, I thought you were saying 30 plus 16. Are you saying 30 total?
30 total.
I think he's going to need more than that.
He might. My guy here, I in our Discord, Tyson, I said who you guys need to take a bet on is Cam Smith. It looked like he was dead for the longest time, but he has gotten red hot here. Jacob Wilson's out +100. He was like a -1,000 favorite at one point. Cam Smith's plus 160. There's a real chance that Cam Smith wins this award, Tyson, because it's not how you start. It's how you finish in Rookie of the Year voting. Like, we know that. It's whoever red hot at the end. Michael Harris is called up, and Strider almost stole it from him, but Harris was elite the entire year. Normally, position players are just because they accrue more WAR. Now, Jacob Wilson's shortstop for the A's is they're going to be a ding on him because they're not a very good team compared to Cam Smith's probably going to win the division, and he's a starting right fielder. And he's going to heat up, dude. He did not have a good start. He's figuring out major league pitching, and the guy can just flat out hit. And so I think keep an eye on Cam Smith. This is going to be a fun Rookie of the Year race after it looked like it was wrapped up.
You can always tell when Brad has a ticket, even if he doesn't tell you guys straight off rip, but he finds a way to shoehorn his guy in, and is painted in a great light. Here, how about this? Because the Orioles were your biggest disappointment, is Adley Rutschman just unlucky for the rest of the season? Like, is this the way it's going to go? Is this just the season that they're going to have?
That's a good question. Because who the Orioles are going to trade or their periphery pieces. Now, Ryan O'Hearn's been their best player this year. They're going to trade him. And Cedric Mullins was at the start. Those players are both going to be gone. But it's not like you're trading Gunnar Henderson or Adley or Jackson Holiday. So like you would, or Jordan Westberg, like Colton Cowser, who was rookie or runner-up last year. So you still got all your pieces in place, and you're like, okay, if this foundation is right, you should be playing better. The question about Rutschman in particular, dude, I have no clue, man. Like, he was so good the first 2 years, and like everybody's like, well, he might have been a little banged up last season in the second half. It's like he sucked in the first half this year too, and he's got banged up. People are talking about his swing's been tinkered with, and it's not as natural. It's a little more mechanical. Plus, he's a switch hitter, so it's like, can he focus on it? Like, it's tough right now, man. And I think sometimes if you're struggling as a switch hitter, it's harder to get out of the slump. So long way to swing, I have no idea. Just because everybody thought, like, coming in and he hits the homer on the opening day, it's like, whoa, yeah, he's back, and it's just not been the same.
That's kind of how I feel about Jackson Merrill. Like, I'm waiting and hoping that, like, and he might, he could finish the season hitting 300, but it's like, again, a couple calls that I got, and I just want the guy to be good. That's all.
Well, I think Jackson Merrill's going to heat up. He got that concussion, which sucked for him, and that took him out a little bit. I think this break came at a perfect time for him. Plus, he had 2 homers off Zach Wheeler. It's like, if you can do that, like, I think you're starting to see the ball pretty well. So I don't think you have anything to worry about with Merrill. But the Padres overall, Tyson, they're somebody I'm keeping an eye on because AJ Preller, my guy, man. I mean, I think he's the best executive in the sport, just like the constraints that he's had, the way he's been able to maneuver everything, and always finding out a way to get the big deal, but always still having prospects like that people want. It's insane how good this guy is. I don't know if he can math the math this year. So I think there could be some people on the move out instead of in. That's something I want to keep an eye on. It. Are the Padres actually going to sell off some pieces and try to restock? So we'll see there.
That's a great segue, folks. Last one from me, I guess. What is the conversation around the Rafael Devers trade at the end of the season? Like, is he going to wake up and we're going to be like, oh, he hit 35 home runs this season, the Giants are in the playoffs, everything is good? Or is it like, hey, I think we all might have overreacted a little bit to how good of a deal they got?
It's funny because the Red Sox got red hot right now. And all of a sudden people are like, well, they might trade Bregman and really get some stuff back while you don't, lose your foundational pieces and really reload and build some other people around Roman Anthony and Marcel Mayer. They might have to buy now, which is funny because it's like, man, we're missing that middle of the bat type of guy. It's like, yeah, you had one. I don't know what you're thinking there. For the Giants, the offense is still stuck in mud. Now, Devers has a disc injury in his back, which was, you got an MRI. Everything's like, well, it only hurts when he runs. It's like, well, that's not great.
Jogger on base, get it out of the park. You don't have to worry about
that's what they're needing. Now, I think to answer your question, when we're looking back, we're going to be like, maybe we overreacted a little bit because, hitting in Boston is different than hitting in San Francisco. Like, the balls just do not fly over there unless you're Barry Bonds. So I don't think we're going to see the same type of impact like with the long ball that Devers has, but he's still going to be a great hitter. I think the strikeouts are still going to be concerning, though.
Okay.
Last one I want to talk about. We got Paul Skeens at -110. We got Zach Wheeler at -110 here on FanDuel for NL Cy Young. I said, and again in our Discord, I think you got to take a shot on Zach Wheeler because if it's close, they're going to give the award to Zack Wheeler. He talked about, I'm putting a stamp on my retirement date when this contract extension that he signed with the Phillies is done. He's done, he says. He was robbed of it in 2021. He should have. I mean, it's ridiculous that Corbin Burns beat him out for it. It's like the closest vote ever or something like that. Ridiculous that Zack Wheeler didn't win that award. So that you already kind of have that, and you're looking like, well, Burns has been good, but Wheeler's like been like generational in this stretch, and I can't believe we haven't given him a Cy Young, which we probably should have in 2021. And last year he was unbelievable too. The problem was Chris Sale freaking won the Triple Crown for pitchers. It's like, well, we got to give it to him. And so I think the writers sitting there looking like, if Zack Wheeler was even close to Skiens, which he is, they're going to give it to Zack Wheeler. I think the market kind of has that baked in. The other issue, not an issue, but I think the other thing you got to think about with Skiens, the Pirates are going to sell, and they're like thinking about trading everybody. I'm talking people under club control. They're trying to do a full teardown rebuild and like getting actual young pieces back. They might just shut Skiens down, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I mean, if he's, why are you putting mileage on your elbow right now when you already know like the window isn't right now? You know, like why don't they shut him down? And if that happens, Wheeler's going to win this award. It's not even going to be close. So I think that's something to keep an eye on.
Dude, that would kill me if like DeGrom stays up and he beats out like Skubal and Brown and these other guys. Like the competition's a little bit like, you know, it's not Paul Skeens, but like there's Skubal might be the best pitcher like in the world, and like there's a lot going on. But I'm just saying, if Jacob DeGrom and Zack Wheeler win Cy Young, I might have to take another break.
That would be tough for the Mets, dude. Like that would be insane. That would be tough.
The only thing that would top it is like Matt Harvey gets signed to like, you know, come in. He's a closer now
for the Phillies.
Yeah. I think he's red hot. I hate it here.
Oh man! All right, last two I want to touch on. It's looking like Judge is going to win the AL MVP. Shohei is going to win the NL MVP. It's insane that Judge is what he's doing, man. And people are like, well, you know, he's not good in the play. Like, can we just respect like this guy? What this guy's doing is insane numbers. We're talking like he's in conversations with. Is he a better right-handed hitter than Pujols, which I think is insane. And I mean, Hank Aaron lived as well, but just that's the type of stuff that he's been doing recently. I know there's haters, but my God. And then Shohei, listen, Tyson he's actually a reasonable Mets fan. So like all the Mets fans I knew, they're like, this is ridiculous. He was DH. I'm like, yeah, he did something nobody's ever done. And he's probably going to hit more homers. And he's pitching again. Like he's going to win the MVP. We're going to have back-to-back winners in both leagues.
Do you think so who has a better shot of stealing it? Pico Armstrong or the dumper?
Dumper. If he keeps this up and he puts together a historic like catcher season, and the pace WAR is insane, it would be hard. Like Crow Armstrong, he's not going to be able to do enough because like what he goes 40-40. Like yeah, well Shohei at 60 and he just had 50-50 last year. Like
it's stupid. I mean we're it's a pretty crazy era because these two guys are. Dude, they're insane. Like
it's ridiculous.
You try to find these arguments around it, and it's like, yeah, but like in the NL, it's like, yeah, but Shohei's pitching, and then the AL, it's like, yeah, but check all the other numbers, and like Judge is probably going to gun him down in the home run race. At least I think so. I mean,
I think so too.
He's 3 clear of Judge right now. Raleigh is.
Let's see here. Well, Judge is -140 to win the home run race. Raleigh +110 and Shohei +650. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick, Tyson, as we're talking. But yeah, I mean, you kind of talked about it off the top. We're talking about surprises that it's just so hard to keep the same pace when you're a catcher. And I think that's what's even more astounding is that he's doing this. But Raleigh said that 38 homers, Judge 35, Shohei 32. Eugenio Suarez, 31, Schwarber, 30. Those are your 5 guys that hit the 30 mark before. And Crow Armstrong, Tyson's boy, and Seiya Suzuki at 6 with 25 a pop. So this will be fun, man. It's going to be a good second half. I'll be on vacation. Tyson and I were talking about doing a trade deadline reaction. We'll see if we can swing that or not. I mean, I think this is going to be a fun one. I don't know how impactful it's going to be. People say that every year, and there's a chance like some real guys are on the move at this deadline. So we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and share the show. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button on the way out. Listen to podcast form. Give us a 5-star review. Let us know what you think. Biggest surprises or what's going to happen second half. Let us know in the comments. Share it with a friend. Share it with an enemy. We'll talk to you guys when we talk to you. Peace.